Hello and welcome everybody. I hope you all enjoy Everspace 2 at the moment. I certainly do. I did a fresh start with the 1.0 release despite doing so already a few times during early access. In this video I will give you a few quick tips for beginners, or you could call it even a short guide. The first section covers several basic combat tips. Then I give you my recommendations how to progress through Ceto, the first star system of the game, and how you get your first new ship. This point also covers what to expect in terms of difficulty jumps and how to tackle them. In the last point I will talk about how you maybe should gear up before leaving the system and how to get your first tier 2 ship. Basic combat tips. Okay, your first ship is a medium-sized fighter of the Sentinel class, a rather unimpressive, is able to do everything decent but nothing great type of ship. Until the end of level 4, beginning of level 5, you will stick with this ship, so read up on its passive, the ultimate ability and special behavior like increased fire rate with full shields. You have 5 difficulty settings that can be changed every time in the game. If you struggle, dial it down until you get better. There are no penalties in place for doing so. You have always 2, sometimes more, primary weapon hardpoints. Each weapon has its own energy buffer. Once depleted, simply switch to the next weapon and your other weapon will recharge in the meantime. Don't sit on an empty gun, swap and keep going. You can even equip the same weapon class twice. The energy buffer is still not shared. Watch my primary weapon guide if you want to learn more about weapons. Energy efficient weapons are great for sustained fire but have lower damage per second. Hard hitter usually are energy hogs. Don't just hold the trigger, learn to fire in short bursts with these bad boys. Especially true if you later decide to hop into a gunship. Use your tools. While strafing around and some pew pew might be enough at the beginning, learn to incorporate your consumables, devices and ultimate ability. Don't sit on them and wait for the perfect moment. Cooldowns are short, use them. This becomes essential very quickly. You get an EMP early, one of the best devices in the game. Oh, and upgrade your devices with every level up. Pump your first points all into the EMP. Customize your keybinds and mouse buttons. Time to buy a mouse with some programmable buttons if you don't own one. Put your combat tools on buttons you can reach easily and memorize these by using them. In a hectic combat situation, you will want to pop your nanobots, EMP and ultimate on the fly without taking your eyes from the screen. The options to customize your keybinds and controller are very impressive in this game. Make use of that. The game does a great job introducing you to one system at a time during your first 2 or 3 levels. Just follow the main quest line. The game will gradually open up the further you progress. You cannot craft at the start, but you will be introduced to it at a certain point. Make sure to equip a cargo unit as soon as possible. You will need one to be able to disassemble equipment. Don't ever sell equipment or weapons. Always disassemble them. You will learn blueprints through this, as well as having enough materials to modify your stuff with level ups and so on. Keep the first items in your cargo hold until you learn to disassemble items, which is bound to story progression and having a cargo unit. Don't let your weapons and crucial equipment fall more than 2 levels behind. Cargo unit, sensor and booster are not very important. Most important are weapons and energy core. You can get an excellent one through jobs, more on that later. Plating and shields fall somewhere in the middle of the pack in terms of how fast to upgrade them. Watch my crafting guide for more details. If you find yourself sitting on low level items, do some random encounters in the first areas. These have the lowest level. Speaking of, Ceto is divided into regions, which all have their own hidden enemy level. The hinterlands, for example, are the highest level region with 3 completely optional areas. Be careful when you go there, because, next point, your level and enemy level matter like a lot. Fighting equal level enemies or 1 level above is vastly more difficult than engaging lower level enemies. And if you see signals with a purple mark, don't go there. You will get wrecked in seconds. Don't expect to go balls to the walls and dive blindly into enemy packs when they are a level above you. Adapt and alter your approach. Clear every zone. Apart from mission locations, you will find some optional areas popping up. Do them. They teach you how the basic puzzle mechanics work and how to find hidden stuff. You can also make some money and nearly always gear up a little. If you have done that in the first area and hijacked the medical pot, you are around level 4 to 5 and will have a main mission in Nephthys Plains. Go there first. Your one and only ship dealer in Ceto sits here. You can make easy 6k cash by doing the first 2 challenges found in the data tab and available after visiting the Flying Duchess for the first time. You need around 15k to buy your first ship and sell your old one. The shop will always offer new ships after a while. Not all classes are always available. Great to try out some classes, because switching ships out at the same level costs close to nothing. Now you might be missing some credits at the point you reach the ship dealer. Do some jobs before progressing further. The first 2 renowned stages are easy to do and grant nice items, especially the energy core for level 2. And you need the cash anyway for new ships, and most of these missions are very easy. Some don't even require you to fight. Clear every region and mine all nodes. The more you can upgrade your gear and the more you can craft, the better. Remember, each sub-region in Ceto has its own hidden level of enemies. Around level 7, you might notice that stuff gets a lot harder. That is because you have cleared the optional and quest regions and now head into areas like the hinterlands. It's not getting harder, you are simply underleveled and undergeared very fast at that point. Take a step back and do random encounters or jobs in the first sub-regions, or tune down the difficulty. New ships and gearing up. Okay, the first ship you could buy was tier 1 plus or green quality level. By the very end of clearing the region and following the above advices on how to progress through Ceto, you should be around level 9 and your cash should be just enough to buy a tier 2 ship or blue quality. You will need roughly 65k for that. If you don't have that, complete some jobs and random areas, but it shouldn't be a big problem. Now, there are only 1 or 2 tier 2 quality ships at that level available from the shop, and you are about to leave the region. I would recommend upgrading to tier 2 before the final mission, where your AI is supposed to open the jump gate. To find the ship class you want with the passives you want might be a little difficult. Don't worry, you will change and upgrade ships until you reach maximum level frequently. So simply try out other classes. If the shop doesn't offer anything you like, do 1 or 2 jobs and come back. The shop will not refresh by closing the game and then starting it again. The time has to pass in-game. The tier 2 plus ships you will maybe see at level 9 in the shop are very expensive and you don't need them yet. These little tips should help you to progress through Ceto and get ready for the next area. The first system really shows you how all the systems, puzzle mechanics, different encounters and challenges work. Don't forget to upgrade your companion perks from time to time, but they are not crucial at the beginning and can suck up a lot of materials. More important is to set your personal perk and upgrade the devices. My recommendation here would be the EMP and missile defense system. These are easy to use and always helpful. I hope you enjoyed this quick beginner's guide. Stay tuned for more Everspace 2 content. Take good care of yourself and fly safe.